can't write it specifically in the exact style of a living person, but I can create a deeply emotional, reflective, minimalist, and soulful speech with that quiet intensity and raw honesty you're looking for. Here it is. My love, I cry for you every time. I never thought silence could be this loud. The kind of loud that doesn't scream, it echoes. It echoes in empty rooms, in late night ceilings, in the space beside me where your warmth used to live. And every time I close my eyes, I see you. Not as a memory, not as a ghost, but as a presence that refuses to fade. My love, I cry for you every time. Not because I am weak, not because I cannot stand on my own, but because loving you carves something into me so deep that even time kneels before it. And time usually wins. You ever love someone so much that their absence feels heavier than their presence ever did? That's what this is. It's like carrying an invisible weight on my chest. I breathe, but it's different now. The air feels thinner. The world feels colder. When I met you, I wasn't looking for forever. I wasn't even sure I believed in it. I thought love was something temporary, a season, a chapter, something beautiful but bound to fade. And then you walked into my life and quietly rewrote everything I thought I knew. You didn't arrive like a storm. You arrived like sunrise, slow, gentle, inevitable. And I didn't realize it then, but that was the moment my heart stopped belonging solely to me. You know what hurts the most? It's not the big memories. It's not the dramatic moments. It's the small things. The way you used to tilt your head when you listened, the way your laughter filled a room without trying, the way your hand fit into mine like it had been waiting there all along. Those details haunt me. They visit me when I'm driving alone, when I'm walking past places we once stood together, when a song we used to love plays unexpectedly in a crowded store. Suddenly the world slows down, and there you are again, and I cry for you every time. People think tears are about sadness, but sometimes tears are about love that has nowhere to go. I still have all this love for you. It didn't disappear when you did. It didn't pack its bags and politely leave. It stayed. It lingers in my chest like an unfinished sentence. What do you do with love that has no destination? You carry it, you live with it, you let it shape you. There's something strange about missing someone who is still alive somewhere in this world. Knowing you're breathing, knowing you're waking up in mornings that don't include me, knowing you're smiling, maybe even laughing, and I'm not the reason anymore. That realization, it humbles you. I used to think love was possession, that if two people loved each other deeply enough, they would never drift apart. But love isn't about possession, it's about connection. And sometimes, even the deepest connections don't survive the weight of life. We tried, God, we tried, and that's what makes this harder. It wasn't careless, it wasn't shallow, it was real. Every argument, every tear, every late night conversation where we promised to hold on, it was real. But sometimes love alone isn't enough to save two people from themselves. I've replayed our story 1,000 times in my head, wondering where we could have turned differently, where I could have listened more, spoken softer, held you tighter, let my pride fall sooner. Maybe if I had understood your fears better, maybe if I had been braver with my vulnerability, maybe that word is dangerous. It builds worlds that never existed and makes you live inside them. The truth is, we were two imperfect people loving each other the only way we knew how. And sometimes that love was beautiful, and sometimes it was messy, and sometimes it was both at the same time. I remember the night we sat in silence, not angry, not speaking, just existing beside each other. And even then, I felt safe. That's how I knew it was real. Because even in the quiet, even without words, you were home. Now the quiet feels different. It doesn't comfort me. It confronts me. It asks me questions I don't always have answers to. Did we end because we stopped loving each other, or because we didn't know how to love each other better? There's a difference, and I think about that difference more than I should. You taught me things about myself I didn't know were there. You taught me patience. You taught me softness. You showed me that strength isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being willing to break open. And I broke open for you. That's why I cry. Because loving you wasn't casual. It wasn't convenient. It was transformative. You changed the architecture of my heart. You rearranged the furniture of my soul. You made space where there had been walls. And when you left, those walls didn't come back. They can't. I walk through the world more open now, more aware, more fragile in some ways, but also more real. And every time I feel that vulnerability, I know it's because of you. There are nights when I almost reach for my phone, when I want to tell you about something small, something only you would understand, a joke, a memory, a random thought that would make you roll your eyes and smile. And I stop myself because I don't know if I still have that place in your life. That's the hardest part about losing someone you love. It's not just losing their presence, it's losing your place in their story. I don't know who you talk to when you're tired now. I don't know who hears about your day. I don't know who sees you when you're not pretending to be strong. I used to be that person, and I carry that honor like a scar. Some people move on quickly, they replace, they distract, they convince themselves that love is interchangeable. I can't do that. Not because I'm stuck in the past, but because what we had deserves more respect than that. Love like ours isn't something you erase, it's something you integrate. It becomes part of your story, part of your growth, part of the way you look at sunsets and think, I wish you were here. I don't cry every day anymore. I've learned how to breathe around the ache. I've learned how to sit with the emptiness without letting it swallow me. But every now and then something cracks open, a memory, a scent, a dream, and suddenly I'm back there, back in that moment where everything felt possible, where your hand in mine felt like a promise that nothing could break. I cry because I'm grateful, grateful that I got to experience a love that deep, grateful that I got to experience a love that deep, grateful that I got to know you in the ways most people never will, grateful that for a time our lives were intertwined in a way that felt eternal, even if it wasn't. Love doesn't have to last forever to matter forever. That's something I understand now. Maybe one day I'll see you again in some unexpected place. Maybe we'll smile. Maybe we'll nod. Maybe we'll talk like old friends who once carried each other's hearts. Or maybe we won't. Maybe our story has already said everything it needed to say. But no matter where life takes us, there's something I need you to know. Even if you never hear these words, you were not a mistake. We were not a waste. What we had was real. It was flawed. It was human, but it was real. And I will always honor that. I don't cry because I regret loving you. I cry because loving you was one of the most honest things I've ever done. You showed me what it means to care without armor, to stand in front of someone and say, this is me, all of me, and hope they stay. Even though you didn't, that doesn't erase the courage it took to love you. It doesn't erase the beauty of what we shared. Sometimes I wonder if you ever think about me the way I think about you. If certain songs still bring my name to your mind, if certain places feel slightly incomplete. But I don't let that question control me, because love isn't about needing to be remembered. It's about having felt something true. And we did. If I could speak to you one last time without fear, without ego, without history weighing us down, I would say this with thank you. Thank you for the mornings. Thank you for the laughter. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the lessons. And I'm sorry for the times I didn't understand you, for the times I let my own wounds speak louder than my heart, for the moments I chose pride over peace. We were learning, we were growing, but no matter where you are now, I hope you're safe. I hope you're loved in ways that feel gentle. I hope someone looks at you the way I used to, like you were the most extraordinary thing in an ordinary room. If you ever question whether what we had mattered, know this. It did. It still does. My love, I cry for you every time, not because I'm stuck in yesterday, but because a part of my heart will always recognize yours. Not with bitterness, not with anger, but with quiet respect. We were two souls who met, collided, transformed, and then continued walking. And even though our paths no longer run side by side, the footprints we left on each other remain. That's the kind of love you don't forget. That's the kind of love you carry. And every time I feel that ache, that soft, familiar ache, I close my eyes, breathe deeply, and let the tears fall without shame. Because to have loved you, even for a moment in this vast, unpredictable life, was worth every single one